Hi, I'm Sagandra. Welcome to my channel. I'm a real estate agent here in the NYC area, and I'm here to give you all the information and tips about the current real estate rental and sales market here in the NYC. This is NYCL. Now, my topic today is renting. We all know renting can be a challenge here in the NYC area. Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, wherever you go, it can be a challenge to rent here. So I want to give you some tips and information about what you should be looking forward to and how you should prepare before coming to the NYC area to tour your apartment, before you find what you're looking for. So, to know, New York is different from any other city that you are familiar with. You may come from the South, the West. Let me just tell you that NYC is different. The prices here are higher than what you would expect. So come knowing somewhat of what the rental market is here. That way you won't be blindsided and you won't be surprised. So do your due diligence and educate yourself first. So what I mean by that is go online. There's Street Easy, there's Zillow, there's Trulia. Familiarize yourself with the rental prices for whatever you're looking for, like a 1-bedroom, studio, 2 bedrooms. Please go on these sites and familiarize yourself with the current rental rates. Now, I have my notes here, so I'll be like turning to the side, to the right, to look at my notes. So you want to be prepared before you come to the NYC area. As a real estate agent, I'm here to inform you, I'm here to lead you, guide you. If you want to work with a real estate agent, that's perfect. I currently work with Oxford/Buyer Group here in the Manhattan area. I service not only Manhattan, I service Brooklyn and Queens as well. But my primary service is here in the Manhattan area. So if you are looking for a real estate agent, I'm here for you. I'll leave my information in the comment section below so that you can view that and maybe contact me if you are looking for a place to stay here in the NYC area. Next, how to be prepared. Renting can be a challenge. It could be stressful. It could be exhausting. So as a real estate agent, my job is to navigate and help my renters stay informed about what they're looking for, how to be prepared, what to bring. That way, when they find what they're looking for, they can zoom right into the application process and it can be smooth and it can be easy. What you don't want to do before coming to New York or even before touring is to not be prepared. I'm here to inform you that these apartments here in New York, they go quickly. So you want to move very fast and have everything on hand or digitally prepared when you find what you're looking for. Also, you don't have to work with a broker. You can go out, you can search. I did mention Street Easy, Zillow, Trulia.com. They pretty much have the majority of all the apartments that are available here in the Manhattan area or the Brooklyn area. There is a site called One Key. If you're looking in Long Island, One Key MLS, you can go there. I'll link all the information. I'll put it down in the comment section. And you can just go to those websites if you want to be in those desired areas. Also, do your due diligence and educate yourself about the different neighborhoods in the Manhattan area if you desire to move to Manhattan, because every neighborhood was not created equal. So when you tour, make sure you know what the rental market is as far as the rent rates for the neighborhood that you want to be in. There are certain neighborhoods here, especially Lower Manhattan, that are very that are higher than you would find in Upper Manhattan. So just educate yourself on that. Now, getting into the nitty-gritty, how do you be prepared for renting here in the NYC area? What do you need? First and foremost, the qualifications here are different than you would find in any other area of the country. Now, comparison, I would say San Francisco, I would say Los Angeles would be a really good comparison to New York because the rental rates are almost the same as New York. So don't be surprised about what you're going to be expected to qualify for and pay. Now, as far as talking about qualifications, here are the qualifications that you need. The qualifications are, you have to make at least 40 times the rent here. If you are qualifying individually, you might qualify with your spouse or your partner or your roommate, then the both of you have to make at least 40 times the rent. And what I mean by that is, say, for example, you see a one bedroom that you like is $2,500, and I'm just going off the top. This is an example. You might see an apartment that you like for $2,500 in a certain neighborhood that you want to be in. And as far as the rent rate for that apartment, you have to make 40 times that rent rate. So you have to make 40 times $2,500. 40 times $2,500 is $100,000 per year. So you have to make at least $100,000 per year in order to even qualify as far as your income. Now, if you think you cannot qualify by yourself, and I'm talking about credit when I speak of this, you can use a guarantor. A guarantor is someone who can co-sign with you. And it can be a family member, it can be a friend, it can be someone that you're very familiar with, or it can be one of the companies here in the NYC area that does offer to be your guarantor for you. There are options like that exist here that will help you if you need a guarantor to qualify for an apartment. Now, guarantors, the qualifications are higher. A guarantor needs to make at least 80 times the rent here. So it's not 40 times the rent, it would be 80 times the rent. You may think, oh my gosh, that is so much. Yes, and that is part of the qualification here. It is what it is. This is what you're going to expect. This is how it's going to be when you come here. So I'm informing you and educating you right now. These are the qualifications here. 40 times if you're individually or with your spouse or with someone you know, a roommate. 40 times the both of you. The rent annually, that's your annual income. If you need a guarantor, they need to make 80 times the rent. So $2,500 rent rate you see and you want to qualify for and apply. You need a guarantor. That guarantor needs to make at least 80 times that much per year for that year. When they go back and they check your income, they may ask for tax returns. I'll get into that. But your guarantor needs to make that much, along with you making 40 times the rent. So you need to make 40 times the rent. Your guarantor needs to make 80 times the rent. That's what the qualifications are. You cannot get around that unless you are a student, and that's another subject. There are some things, some categories that they will allow you, they may have a little leniency on, but just come expecting this. Come be prepared to offer documentation for all of this. And so the next thing that you want to do is you want to gather all the necessary documentation. Bring it with you, have it digitally prepared, whatever, have it on hand. So when you go out to tour and you find that place that you're looking for and you want to put in an application, right after you see it, you have your documentation ready and you're ready to apply, and you can move on it, you can move fast, and more than likely you might get it, pending that you meet the qualifications that the landlord is looking for. So it's very, very important that you have your documentation prepared and on hand and ready. So what documentation do you need for, I'm sorry, I'm looking to the right to my notes, so I want to make sure that I am covering everything. So what do you need as far as documentation here? So first and foremost, your job. You need to have an employment verification letter that states your job title, your job functions, and you need to have it signed and on company letterhead. Now, there are those of you that are coming to New York that are starting a job. Now, if you are starting a job, I'm going to get into other things that you'll need that will help when a landlord looks through your application to see if you're very well qualified. So first things first, employment verification letter. Second, you'll need at least 2 to 3 months, and I say minimum 3 months of bank statements. So have at least 3 months of bank statements just in case they want to see 3 months. Sometimes landlords want to see 2 months, but I say have 3 months minimum bank statements, recent bank statements on hand. Next, you're going to have 2 to 3 months, but I say minimum 3 months of pay stubs on hand for your landlord to look at. So 2 to 3 months, 3 months minimum, bank statements, pay stubs. Another thing that you would want to have, let's say you're starting a new job and you don't have that job history that landlords are looking for. So what you will need to have is liquid assets, have cash on hand, and you should already have cash saved when you come to New York. So it's good to have cash on hand. Now, if you are starting out and you do not have that job history, have the cash on hand. And what I mean by cash on hand and liquid assets is have at least a year of liquid assets, cash on hand, a year's worth saved up. When landlords look at your application and they see that you do not have the job history, but you're starting a job, i.e. the employer's verification letter, they see, okay, now she's gonna be employed, how much will she be making, the projected salary, all of that, but they want to see, can she afford to stay here? Will she be able to pay the security deposit, all of that, 1 month's rent? They want to see that you have the cash on hand if you don't have the history to back that up. And I'd say a year's worth of cash on hand, liquid assets that you might have saved up. That goes a long way. And I will say that it does help renters when they don't have that history or the necessary income to meet the qualifications. Well, I have all of this in my bank to show you that I can afford my lease term. If you're signing 12-month lease and you have 12 months worth of cash on hand, that's great. That will help you. That would go a long way for some landlords here. Other landlords are more strict about that. So next, you need to have at least 2 years worth of tax returns. Now, this is more for those who are self-employed, of course. You will need to have that, but the landlords might ask you for 2 years of tax returns if you are not self-employed and you just have a regular full-time job. They might ask you for 2 years worth of tax returns, so have your W-2s, your 1099s, your 2 years worth of tax returns on hand with your other documents, okay? Also, be prepared to pay an application fee. I know that's pretty much standard not here in NYC, but in the other states. That's pretty much standard information. Also, they will run a credit check, have 2 forms of photo identification ready to submit. Now, when you have all of these documents ready and you're willing and you're prepared to apply, guys, this helps you so much. Always be prepared when you come to NYC, because these apartments, they go fast. They go fast. You can be touring and see an apartment one day, and then you don't make up your mind, or you don't make a decision that day, and the next day or the next day after that, you say, oh, I want that apartment. The apartment could be already gone. And that happens a lot here. So if you see an apartment and you want that apartment, go ahead and apply. Have your documents ready to upload to their site. Have everything ready to go, okay? This helps you a lot. Rather than after you've made your decision and you're waiting for the real estate agent to tell you what to bring, you don't know what to bring. That hinders you a lot. That apartment can be already gone, just like that. So I want to help you guys, inform you, let you know, be prepared, okay? Now, there are other things that the landlords might ask. They might ask for a summary of your savings. So if you have a savings account, most renters do, especially here in the NYC area. If you do have a savings account, they might ask for that. So have that on hand. Just have all these documents on hand, and a copy of your Social Security card. Also, there are some landlords that if your credit does not meet certain qualifications, and I'm going to talk about the minimum credit score in a little bit, but if your credit does not meet certain qualifications, they might work with you and ask for your past rent payments, and they might go back to at least a year's worth. So if you are in that group of people that your credit might not meet the minimum, or it's not strong enough, then you might want to have at least a year's worth of rental payment history already within your documents, okay? Have it already prepared, okay? Okay, so I've talked about what you need. Next, what can you expect? Say I've come to see apartments, and I tour and I see this very nice studio apartment that I want. That's for $2,500, and I've applied and my application has gone through and the landlord has accepted. So when you sign the lease, at lease signing, this is what you're expected to pay. Almost always, you need to have at least one month's rent saved. If you're working with a broker, an agent, real estate agent like moi, then have the broker's fee saved. If you are signing a lease for at least 1 year or more, the broker's fee is usually 15% of the first year's annual rent for a rental of 1 year or more. So you multiply your rent times 12 months and multiply that times 15%, and that's how much your broker's fee will be. So you need to have at least 1 month's rent saved, check. You need to have at least your broker's fee saved, check. Also, you need to have a security deposit just in case the landlord asks for a security deposit. Now, here in the NYC area, landlords cannot charge you more than the month's rent. They can charge you for a security deposit up to 1 month's rent. up to 1 month's rent. It is not more than 1 month's rent. So you need to have at least a month's rent saved for your security deposit. Now, as far as your security deposit, what if you have a budget that does not meet or that does not include a security deposit? Okay, well that's good, because I want to tell you that there are companies here in the NYC area that will help you pay the security deposit for a fee. There are companies like rhino.com. I'll list that in the comment section, in the information section. Also, there is a company like Obligo. I'm very familiar with Obligo. Obligo.com. There are companies that pay the security deposit for you for an initial fee. Now, what I mean by an initial fee, and all of you go to their website, get all this information, go to their website, you might pay an initial fee. They might run a credit check. They will look at your income and all of that. And depending upon your credit, how strong or how weak your credit is, you might pay an initial fee, and that's a one-time fee. And they'll pay your security deposit, and you won't have to worry about that anymore. So, as far as what you'll be expecting is your 1 month's rent to pay, broker's fee, usually 15% for a lease of 12 months, and you might have to pay a security deposit. So those 3 things, guys, have those 3 things saved up, unless you want to go with one of these security deposit companies that will help you to do that. Also, if you don't want to pay a broker's fee, there are other options as well. There are no-fee apartments. There are buildings that are owned by companies or by, landlords, that they do the rental, they do the marketing and advertising themselves. They might have a team, or they might go through their property manager, and they might do their marketing advertising through these means. So when they do this and they just list it themselves, there is no broker's fee, because they don't go through a broker to do this. But there are no-fee apartments. Go to streeteasy.com. You just check the no-fee box, and it'll pull up all the no-fee apartments that are according to your criteria. You can search through those apartments, and if you don't want to pay a fee, you can search through those apartments, and you can select from those apartments which ones that you like. Also, if you do want to work with a broker, but you're not sure about the fee, whether or not you can cover it, well, there is an option that we as real estate agents can give you. We can search for apartments that require you to pay no fee. And what I mean by this is, usually the fee is paid by the owner. So we call it OP because it stands for owner paid. So the owner or the landlord pays our fee for you. So you can go with that option if you still want to work with an agent or broker, and you still want to be able to find an apartment that does not require a fee. Then that's what we do. We go through all the apartments that offer OPs that require no fee from the tenant, from the prospective renter, but the fee is paid by the owner. So those are options for you if you do not want to pay the fee. I know that when it's all said and done, when you're gathering all of this and you're counting up the costs, you're running the numbers, it can be very expensive. And I sympathize, I understand all of the work and all of the amount of money that you would have to give, that you have to pay in order to get an apartment here in the NYC area. I just want to say to those of you who, are really not sure whether or not you can cover this, those are the options for you. You don't have to pay a broker's fee. There are no fee apartments. Go on those sites, streeteasy.com. You can even go on my site, SiganderJonesNYC.com. You can look on there for rentals, and you can look on citysnap.com. There is linecity.com, Zillow.com, Chulia. They have rentals, and there are no fee options there. So you can go through the inventory of the no fee and select which apartment fits you, and you can apply through their agency online. Or if you want a broker, you can contact me, you can contact a broker you're familiar with, and you can work with the broker to find a no fee apartment, which their fee is paid by the owner and the landlord, and you don't have to pay a broker's fee. That will save you a lot of money if you guys decide to go that direction. Also, I do want to note that I said usually it's 50%. So it depends on the listing agent, and depends on the brokers, that the one that listed the apartment and the one you're working with, to see if that fee can be negotiated. Sometimes the fee can be negotiated. Sometimes it's not a flat fee. Sometimes it can be negotiated. So I just want you to know that those are your options here when you come to the NYC area. So I don't want you to be thrown for a loop. I don't want you to be blindsided. I don't want your eyes to go like that and say, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay for this? I totally get it. I understand. I live here in the NYC area myself. I am a renter, so I can sympathize. I know your pain. So yes. So I'm here to help you as much as I can to help alleviate some of that rental exhaustion and stress that's related to the rental process and navigating this. Hi guys, sorry, my battery went dead, and so I had to change out the battery. But what I want to continue saying is this: be prepared, be very educated about the rental market. Stay on your toes. If you find something that you like and you see yourself, oh my gosh, I want to live here, I can see myself living here, get it. Because these apartments, I have to say this time and time again to renters and people, it goes fast. They go fast, okay? So if you see something, you want it, get it, okay? So this is all that I have for this topic on my channel. I think I've gone through all of my notes. So I'm here for you. If you guys have any questions, comments, please, shout them out. Shout, so to speak. Please give me your questions in the comments below. You can DM me as well, and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability. So this is all that I have for my very first topic on my NYCL channel, and I hope that I've given you guys something that could be very helpful to you. So I just want to say, be strong, stay encouraged, live it, be it, and I'll see you guys next time on NYCL.